Alright. We can do a little check-in on my quests. But I feel like I've done a lot. You've encountered some of the Mandalorian raiders plaguing Tatooine and slain them. They did not seem as organized or powerful as you've been led to believe. Perhaps you have not yet met their most powerful members. Bunch of characters. The Jedi Trials. You've redeemed the fallen Jedi Padawan Juhani and removed the dark taint from the meditation grove. That was the main thing. Then I got some lightsaber crystals, which is kind of a side thing, which doesn't show up there anymore, probably because if it ever was a quest, it's probably marked as complete now. So really the main thing was that, yeah. What was your deal again?
Have you found the Mandalorian raiders yet?
I killed some of them on the plains.
Good. Good. Put them down like the animals they are. But now that you've killed some of them, they won't stop until you've defeated their leader. You must find him and kill him too.
I will come back if I find their leader.
Thank you, young Jedi.
I feel like I've been everywhere, but maybe I haven't. Maybe I lost track.
How may I be of assistance? Farewell, then.
These guys were asking if it's their time to come in yet. Nemo.
I hear you managed to return Juhani to the Order. Congratulations. I regret not being able to tell you more, but some things you must see with your own eyes. Is there something I can help you with? I hope your time is well spent here on Tatooine.
So he knew. They potentially sent me on a death mission. In fact, if we take my first attempt as canon, I definitely died. She just murdered me. Which is a little... She definitely cheats when she murders you. Like, I can use stun on people, but I have to slowly cast stun on them. If she had to, like, sit there and cast stun on Karth, then cast stun on Mission, and then be like, ah, shit, it didn't take on Karth. I gotta cast it on Karth again because he resisted it, and so on. Then, like, I would have destroyed her. But instead, protagonist guy just stares her down politely. She seems to be unsupervised, surprisingly.
I must give you my thanks. Because of you, I am once again welcome within the Jedi Order.
Have you spoken to the council?
I have spoken to the council, and they have helped me see the truth. The truth about myself, and the truth of my actions. Quatra's injuries were not so severe as I first believed. I was foolish to believe I could harm a master such as she with my clumsy efforts. The fierce confrontation between us was nothing more than part of my training. Quatra wanted me to understand the threat of the dark side, to see how easy it was to fall from the path of light.
So where is Quatra now?
After our last battle, Quatra had nothing left to teach me. I needed time alone to explore the turmoil of my own spirit. Only then was I ready to follow a guide. You. Back to the light. When I left, Quatra knew her work with me was done. There are other disciples who need training throughout the galaxy, and she could not stay to see if I passed this most difficult trial. With your help, I have passed this difficult trial. The Council now feels I am ready to continue with my training, though they have asked me to wait here for the time being.
Hey, I'm glad to see you're not getting hung up on all this. The past is in the past, you know?
First the Jedi trick you into becoming an enemy, then they welcome you back as a friend. I can't say I approve of their training methods.
I do not know what the Council has in store for me, but I will trust in the Force and the way of the Jedi to help me through whatever is to come.
I don't think I believe that story. That's worrying. It feels like the Jedi Council's lying to her in order to help ease her back to the light side by removing the guilt. Like she might have killed her master. They're like, oh, that person you killed, they're fine. They're just at the farm. They went up to the farm upstate. It sounds like that kind of explanation. It does. It seems highly questionable. I get to customize my lightsaber to give it attack and damage and chance of stun. I could even change its color to be a not dumb color, or I could fuck up and press B like a dumb person would and ruin everything. Also, Bastille is yellow. Green? I would like many other color options though. Where's my purple lightsaber?
If you have questions,
Greetings, young apprentice. Have you come seeking knowledge of the past? As chronicler, you should ponder. May the Force.
It is good to see Juhani has returned to the way of the light. You are to be commended for your role in this. Your actions give us great hope for the future. Go to Master Jar and inform him that Juhani has returned to us. I think you may be nearing the end of your apprenticeship.
Am I now?
You have done well, my pupil. The ancient grove has been purified, and Juhani's journey down the dark path has been halted. Because of you, she walks once more in the light. But though she was saved, do not dismiss what happened to her. Juhani is both dedicated and true to the ideals of the Order, yet she was still vulnerable to the dark side, as are we all. She struck her master in anger during her training, and injured her greatly. But it was Quatra's choice to test Juhani this way, and it seems to have made its point. Juhani has been redeemed, and you have passed your final test. Congratulations, apprentice. Or should I say, congratulations, Padawan. You have proven yourself worthy of joining the Jedi. Let me be the first to welcome you as a full-fledged member of our Order.
Feels a little weird that her final test was for her to be saved by somebody else. Like, her fate was tied to my own in a way that seems incredibly unfair. We have night speed now. This is stun for 9 seconds. This is stasis for 12 seconds. Let's give stasis a shot. See how heavily it affects my ability to survive some fights. Hello, mission. She of many skill points. Sneak attack 5. So she's ramped well past the sneak attacks I have. By like 2 now, I think. $5 to 30 points when I stun somebody. All the more reason to get those kinds of attacks off. So I roll 3d6, she rolls 5d6. You almost feel a little bit bad for your character for turning into a Jedi. It's like, oh, he could have really been a scoundrel and really committed, or whatever other role you happen to have on your protagonist that you don't really get to follow through with. I guess this guy was technically my Jedi Master. Like, he was my Qui-Gon. Hyper memorable character, Zar Leston, who will definitely speak about all the time for years to come.
If you have questions, you should direct them.
Your training is now complete, Padawan. And perhaps now it is time we dealt with the matter of the dream you and Bastila shared. When we heard of the ruins in your dreams, Master Dorak recognized it as one of a series of ancient structures here on Tatooine. This one in particular lies to the east of this enclave. We sent a Jedi to investigate, but he has not returned. Perhaps sending him in the first place was a mistake. The Force is guiding you through your visions. It may be that exploring the ruins is a task tied to your destiny. That is why the Council has now decided you should be the one to investigate this. The secrets to stopping Malak may be hidden within those ruins. You must investigate them and find what Revan and Malak were looking for.
I'd like to ask you some questions.
A Jedi must ever be seeking knowledge. What is it you wish to know?
Oh, these are all the old questions.
Bastila. Bastila was there. Bastila heard, but Bastila knew the way ahead will...
Bastila must be in my party, so we're gonna have a second Jedi this time. Well, we haven't used you for a while, why not? Just kind of want to bounce around to get them all a chance to be used in combat. I'm not really sure how experience works necessarily. 'Cause yeah, like I have a couple of level 9s, but I have level 6 here, so like holy crap, like he's behind now. I think he just doesn't get experience when he's not in the field.
I demand justice! The Central family is a blight upon Tatooine! They must be punished!
The Council will look into this matter, Mr. Matale. You must be patient. Your accusations have no proof, and we do not want you stirring up trouble with the Sandrals if there is some mistake.
Mistake? My son Shen is missing! How can there be any doubt the Sandrals are to blame?
There are other possible explanations for your son's disappearance.
Ah, you Jedi are good for nothing but talk. I shall only wait so long before I take action on my own.
As dangerous as the threat from Darth Malak and the Sith may be, we Jedi cannot simply abandon our other responsibilities. The Council has promised Alan Matale we will look into his son's disappearance. Should you have time, Padawan, you may want to investigate this matter.
I shall look into it at once.
If Shen Matale is not returned to his father, it may ignite a savage and bloody feud between the Matale and Sandral estates. We must not allow that to happen.
Your study and training are important, of course, but the Jedi are not a cloistered order. Our influence and teachings must spread beyond the walls of our academies.
It is in the real world that we truly prove ourselves worthy of the title Jedi. You would do well to remember this, young Padawan.
The task has its own importance. It may also serve to divert our minds for a short time, something which carries its own rewards.
Nobody needs to level? Yeah, oh man. That definitely makes me suspect that whoops, that they don't get experience when they're not in the party at all. Which means you could really level people, leave people behind. It also does kind of encourage you to just use the same people all the time, which is the opposite of what feels good for a playthrough, where they give you like 9 characters, but only 2 slots to use them with. That's rough. I'm more light side than Bastila. Take that and all your force training. Oh damn it! Saying that lowered my light rating. How you doing, Canderous? Just straight up wondering whether he's even wearing equipment half the time. Like, he's just wearing clothing. Candace, have you ever been in my party before? I don't remember. Hey, a Jedi robe. Finally. Public mod armor. What's Candace's dex bonus? 1. It's not great. Whatever has the best defense stat, just in general, I should just go with, which is you. I get to wear Jedi. I probably look really boring now. But it's better than not having any stats at all. Damn. There it is. Relatively light as Jedi robes go. Not the big long flowing ones we've seen in some of the other movies, but it has to look okay on a video game character model. And as shown in the robes from WoW, early 2000s video game graphics mixed with long flowing clothes leads to some really strange interpretations of how physics should work. I think we've had some instances of that already. But it's interesting how much you learn about how the aesthetic of hair design and armored and clothing design in games is largely based on like what it's going to look like when that stuff gets rendered. So we're both 2-up and fighting style lightsaber people, but we have different styles, thankfully. So that's good. We're not going to look like the same person running around. Enjoy your immunity to mind affecting. Ooh, attack bonus, damage bonus, energy, and yep. Alright, that was a pretty straightforward. +1 attack roll on attack rolls, then just +3 to damage. There you go, Ordo. And then everyone just whips out their guns, because that's how people react whenever you modify their weapons in this game. They always whip them out. They wouldn't know what else to do otherwise. Was there any follow-up dialogue? I kind of skipped out of it on accident because I was trying to escape the talking about Bastila part. Because when I said I wanted to ask questions, I thought there was going to be questions about the quest, not just the usual ones.
Your training is now complete, Padawan. And perhaps now it is time we dealt with the matter of the dream you and Bastila shared. When we heard of the ruins in your dreams, Master Dorak recognized it as one of a series of ancient structures here on Tatooine. This one in particular lies to the east of this enclave. We sent a Jedi to investigate. The Force, the secrets.
What happened to the Jedi who went to investigate?
We do not know. That is one of the things you must investigate. We fear the worst. Is there anything else you want to know?
What should be done about the Sandral and Matale families?
If Shen Matale is not returned to his father, it may ignite a savage and bloody feud between the Matale and Sandral estates. We must not allow that to happen. You should ask Master Vuk about that, Padawan. He is in charge of our relations with the settlers. The way ahead will be difficult for young Bastila, and for you. You must draw strength from each other. May the Force be with you.
Greetings, young Padawan. As
blah,
chronicler,
blah, blah,
you
blah,
should
blah, blah, blah. Never mind.
I must congratulate you on your actions. You have saved Juhani and brought her back into the Order, and have given us all great hope for your future success. May the Force be with you as you continue your training.
Well, he's approving of me now.
For good or ill, you are now a true Padawan. The time has come for you and Bastila to investigate the dream you shared. The secrets to stopping Malak may lie hidden within the ancient Tatooine ruins you both saw in your visions. For good or ill...
Okay, so he doesn't have a dialogue tree anymore. He just kind of throws statements your way that are an update on the most recent thing you've done.
I have nothing left to teach you, Padawan, though a Jedi is ever learning. Even the Masters know their training is but in its infancy. Now is the time for you to seek wisdom outside the training chambers. The lessons that yet await you are to be found beyond the walls of this academy. You should speak to the Council, Padawan. Now that the first stage of your training is complete, I am certain they would be eager to have you aid us in our struggle against Darth Malak and the Sith.
Well, there's it. There's the guy. Taught me everything I know. Best guy in the world. Long history got together. What was his name? I just wish he was more of a character. It'd be nice if he was one of your party members or something that like did all that training with you. But it's just some guy. And there he goes. It's just like, I was about to say it's a bummer how boring he is, but like, that's just what Jedi are. Like, the lore of the Jedi kind of hamstrung us into this corner where like it's one of the most famous organizations in all of fiction. And they're pretty much defined by how fucking boring they are. The upside of the Star Wars original trilogy is that there wasn't actually any Jedi around except for Yoda, who was like a exiled, in hiding ex-Jedi, like somewhat estranged, like somewhat strange in their isolation and all that. But like he didn't have like a Jedi Order in the original movies, but the prequels really highlighted just kind of how boring all of them were as people, inevitably, unless there's something wrong with them, which is usually what makes them interesting. And so that's why they're constantly the least interesting thing going on in any of these games that actually have a Jedi Order in them. Even though at the same time, it's the part that like everyone wants to be a Jedi, and it's the big power fantasy about Star Wars. But like, I'm kind of cool with just not having any Jedi in a story in a Star Wars universe, and just kind of like I was really hoping to love things like Rogue One and Solo, just because it's like we don't need, like, Jedi just aren't that necessary as characters. They kind of suck all around. But this world has a few things we could like do stuff with, so it'd be cool, but then those were not great, but I don't think that's why.
I do not know what the Council has in store for me, but I will trust in the Force and the way of the Jedi to help me through whatever is to come.
So on some level, I look at this stuff and I'm like, I don't know, it'd be kind of nice just to play a nice long RPG where I just don't have to be a Jedi the whole time. And I don't have to like go take down a Sith at the end. It's just like a Star Wars universe story. But it's hard enough to get an RPG funded ever. And then when you do that, the AAA company that's funding, like the publisher that's funding said game, probably doesn't want to fund the not Jedi Star Wars game. Because there's the speeder, it's gone now. The Jedi are kind of seen as being like one of the selling points that will ensure that the game makes the money back that they're investing in the thing. So they're like, the fuck you are? No, you're definitely making a game about Jedi. Are you insane? And so you kind of get, I think you get kind of trapped with that inherently. Although I'm sure that when given the chance to write a game set in these universes, they're probably like, oh yeah, I can't wait to make a game about Jedi. It's been my childhood dream. But it's always been like a childhood attachment to these characters, and like and it's more, and I feel like it has more, it's like my relationship with the character Gambit, where like it's kind of more like because I don't have the particularly heavy fandom for any particular superhero. I just say that my favorite superhero is Gambit, and it's largely on a design level. I just like his weapons of choice, both physical and powers, and like I like his design and his accent and like a bunch of other things about him that are just kind of neat details. But like I haven't been like following X-Men comics, and he doesn't get a lot of screen time in the movies. See basically none, except for that one time he was played by I think a country singer for like a little bit of one movie, and that was it. But like on a surface level, on like the action figure level, I'm like, yeah, Gambit, Marvel vs. Capcom, let's go. Kinetic card. So on that level, when it's just like a Jedi is just a guy who uses cool powers that tap into the nature of the universe, and also has a laser sword, you're like, yeah, I want to be a Jedi. which is why it's a little weird that like the lore then developed more and more towards the idea of like making the Jedi, personality-wise, the most boring and uninteresting protagonists you could possibly have. It's almost like it almost feels like when George made the prequels, he was trying to actively hamstring the ability for people to like continue to obsess over and love this particular character type, because you almost forget that they're all like emotionless, chaste, boring monks when you grow up watching the trilogy about Luke, because he's not really a Jedi, not a proper one. He's just kind of like the last Force-sensitive person available on the good side, and he's kind of learning everything in a vacuum for most of it, and so he just picks up some tricks and raises his power level and gets to be a proper movie protagonist. But yeah, people like Mace Windu and Yoda, and they just suck so much. And then so like these guys are all an emulation of that, because at this point that Phantom Menace came out 4 years ago when this came out, and it's just like now we're stuck with like the proper reality of just how boring Jedi are, which is a weird thing to do to your action protagonists of the lighthearted like sci-fi fantasy epic franchise that makes $1 billion trillion all the time, is to be like, what if we made him boring and shitty? That's a good development. This is an approach to architecture, I suppose. I want a building with no walls. How does that sound? I just want infinite echo. Hi?
Sharji King Watawama Mulira. Yuma Lifba Ak Inkokun. Da Hoba Moktenya Go Juju Biti. Chas Grogito Patslimo.
What language is that? What are you trying to say? It sounds like a Tusken Raider. Bastila, do you have any idea what this droid is saying?
I think the droid is trying to communicate with us by cycling through a variety of languages. Each time it spoke, it was using a very different alien dialect. The droid can probably understand us. The only problem is it may not have been programmed with the phonemes of a language we can understand.
I can reproduce any of the languages spoken by the slaves of the builders. I understood that.
I recognize this language as well. It's an archaic variant of the Selkath dialect spoken on Manaan. But why would a droid on Tatooine be programmed to speak ancient Selkath? It must be referring to Revan. The Dark Lord and Malak likely encountered this droid when they explored these ruins.
What are you? Why are you here? 'How long have you been here?
10 revolutions would take more than 20,000 years. If this is true, then this droid is nearly 5,000 years older than the Republic itself. There must be some mistake.
Who are these builders you keep talking about?
These builders must have been an extinct people, though it is strange there's no record of their existence. Even the archives of the Jedi Academy make no mention of them. In the years before the Republic, the Hutts were a dominant force in the galaxy, but they never constructed an empire. In fact, I know of no species that would fit with this information.
Maybe the builders refers to the Sith. Have you seen a builder recently? What is the Star Forge? But what is it? What does it do?
The droid is obviously not programmed with the knowledge we seek. The Star Forge sounds like some type of weapon, perhaps. Though in fact, it could be anything.
Could it have been a factory or weapons plant?
Maybe. That might explain how the Sith were able to amass a fleet so quickly. But I suspect the Star Forge is more powerful than a mere factory. Maybe the droid has more information we can use. It seems to respond to you. Perhaps you should ask it something else.
Where can we find the Star Forge?
The droid must be talking about poor Nemo. The Council sent him here to investigate, and it cost him his life.
Oh, that's Nemo? Wow. He came here quickly. I talked to him just a second ago before I went into the building. I can't tell until I say a name, because it's just like the same old man over and over again. Did you kill the Jedi over there? How can I open the sealed doors behind you?
Revan and Malak unlocked the sealed door and uncovered the secrets of the Star Forge. Now Malak is using the Star Forge to fuel his conquest of the Republic. We have to find out what they uncovered. We have to find a way to unseal these doors to learn more about the Star Forge. The Republic is depending on us.
I get the feeling it's not going to be so positive. Jedi Knight robe. This gives me 1 defense. 2 defense. I'm impersonating a Jedi Knight. I'm so great. She might as well wear that instead of her normal stuff, because I think... yeah, it counts as proper Jedi equipment. Which means it won't undo our spells, but we'll actually get some defense bonus, thankfully. Does mean she no longer wears her, like, iconic setup, though, anymore. Or her go-to clothes, but, you know, everyone else did give up on wearing their clothes, too. By now. This is a decent change. He looks weird. He looks like he has, like, a spike coming up his butt. Like, this is a really weird wedge appearance down there. That doesn't seem to be what that robe's supposed to look like, so it's a little odd. So, if I say nasty things, does it affect my alignment? Is one thing I'm wondering. Because, it seems like that would be the direction things going, right? Like, they seem to be, like, they might be some sort of precursor to the Sith or something. So, passing their test to be worthy might involve saying some nasty things. Only one way to find out. This is the forward direction. That shouldn't work.
If the droid is correct, then we must complete
Yep.
the tasks in the...
I believe you. Alright, well those are just enemies, so... starting pretty straightforward here. Why didn't you jump? Oh. Ow. It's just a straight up flamethrower. Rude. This Troy's not very nice. Bastila, save me. Alright. You distract him. There we go. Oh, now I can go around. Aha! Flank attacks. There we go. But also, please heal the party. Oh, he's turned around. Now, if Bastila was mission, we could take advantage of this, and no matter who they face, they're getting bonus damage from someone. That's not really how this works right now. There's somebody behind me? I can't turn my camera around. Thought I heard someone behind me, but I don't know if I see anyone behind me. Please use abilities. I feel like I shouldn't have to tell you to use abilities, but it appears I have to tell you guys to want to even use abilities ever. And that's just strange. Ow. This thing's no joke. Right, Bastila also has a heal. Well, had a heal. That's all used up. Force push works on droids, right? Yeah, that does not affect droids, it says there. Yeah, it doesn't say anything. Yeah, there's no reason a force push wouldn't work on droids. It's just a physics thing and not a mind thing. But yeah, I think it's just... Oopsie, not working out for us. Can I just find... Bastila uses cure. Didn't she... I'm trying to... Guardian droid is immune to mind effects. What mind effects? I don't know. That doesn't mean knockdown, right? Maybe it hadn't gone off yet? I don't see Bastila use it. This interface is rough. I don't see any indication of Bastila using the ability I just told her to use. Maybe that's why it's saying they're immune to mind effects, but why would it say that about that? That's confusing. Please just carve him up. Come on, we're almost there. There we go. Why would he be immune to mind effects be... I know why he's immune to mind effects, but why is him being immune to mind effects apparently stopping him from being knocked down by force push?
Yes?
That's a little weird. Now I've got two characters who can do this eventually. Hello. That's some wreckage that we can rebuild T3 and 4 with. The ancient computer hums and throbs. A throbbing computer. As you approach it, its screen flickers to life, and a stream of incomprehensible characters scroll across the screen. Try to talk to it? The computer goes silent, its screen blank. A few extremely unusual characters then appear on the screen. The computer emits a rapid sequence of tones. You hear one of those tones softly echoed by your datapad. A small data receptacle opens in front of the ancient machine. Insert your datapad. The computer seems to be interfacing with your datapad. The screen goes blank again. Then, more familiar characters begin to appear on the screen. Kashyyyk, Zeus, Oyun, Isatukif. Kick the computer. No. Press a button. I think that's all. Alright. Retrieve your datapad. The datapad seems to be locked into the ancient computer. It does not budge. Talk to the computer. The computer goes silent again, humming softly. It seems to be processing data from your datapad. Your datapad is released from the receptacle and the machine goes silent for a moment before flickering to life again. So it restarted. Data interpretation complete. Language analysis complete. Interrogative. Identify the 3 primary life-giving seed world types. Barren is all well-known life-giving places that are barren. Oceanic. Planetary type conducive to life. Additional seed world types. Grassland. Arboreal, like an arbor is a forest, right? Breaking life seal. Okay. Can I just go walk over there? What's stopping me from just hopping through this weird wall? Like, that's my goal. It's right there. This is stupid. This building's stupid. It's like a grand mystery locked behind the secret door, and it's like... there's no walls except for in this one room. I haven't been given any reason to think that I can't just go through those doors, so it's just the silliest shit right now. Let's not attack that thing yet. Hey, Bastila.
Yes?
Thank you. It's good to get those out of the way.
Yeah? What?
Yes?
Hi. Ah. Worrying. I think she's frozen, which is a little concerning. We'll see how that works out for her. Ah ha ha. Yeah, she's either frozen or stuck in carbonite or something. Can I... For those of you that don't know, because I usually don't even remember this detail, the left side of the screen is my morality meter. That's the obvious part. The right side of the screen, that weird 3-pronged thing, appears to be like buffs and debuffs and status effects. And they just don't come up that much, especially when you're pausing the game to look at this menu. But additionally, I think that this interface doesn't allow me to inspect those in any way. So there just kind of is a weird triangle. And it's like, what's that triangle mean? I think if this was PC, maybe you could mouse over them. But that functionality, there's no like... As far as I can tell, there isn't like a Dark Souls, like, press the back button to enter inspection mode that lets you scroll through all the different stats and stuff. I think. Oh, wow, both of us, huh? Rude. Again, huh? Wow.
I'm here.
I mean, she definitely uses energy attacks, so I should try to nullify some of that if I can.
Huh?
I'm here.
Die!
Okay. The whole freezing me thing is getting pretty rude. That's one way to be able to focus fire in one direction. Is just completely get rid of my, get rid of one of my flankers completely. Well, at least it's not doing very much damage. Ta-da! Wasn't really any warning, was there? This droid just sort of politely-ish explains to me what needs to happen next. Then I walk in the side rooms and exact copies of him are kill on sight mode. Rude. If that guy failed the test, why'd he die in the middle room instead of here? Alright. Talk to computer. Push a button. Insert data pad. Identify 3 primary death-giving seed world types. Desert. Volcanic. Barren. Wow. I guess Nemo just couldn't stand against these 2 droids. Because this was a children's quiz. The only difficulty, which probably choked me up a little bit as a kid, is the word arboreal is significantly less in use than the other 5 words that were given. I want to ask you some questions. What do you know about the builders? Yeah, it's the old dialogue again. Just nothing else particularly going on there. Well, that was quick. That strongly seems to be the final thing.
This must be what Revan and Malak found when they entered this temple. This must be where their journey down the dark side began.
What is it?
This is a map. Some sort of intergalactic navigational chart. Revan and Malak must have used this to lead them to the Starforge. We could use this map to follow their path and find the Starforge ourselves. But we must be wary. They may have laid traps or concealed what they found.
So what is the Starforge exactly?
I don't know, but Revan and Malak were very interested in finding it. It must be a tool of some type, or maybe a weapon. Perhaps the Council can tell us more, but I think this map might be the key to finding the Starforge, whatever it is. See this world here? This looks like Korriban, a Sith world. And if that's Korriban, then this is Kashyyyk, and Tatooine, and here's Manan. But there are pieces missing. Incomplete hyperspace coordinates, corrupted data, and there doesn't seem to be anything indicating where the Starforge itself might be.
Perhaps those worlds have more clues.
I was thinking that too. This map can't take us to the Starforge, but I know that Revan and Malak visited Korriban at least once. Perhaps they discovered something more there. They may have found something on each of the other worlds that completed this map. Maybe if we find all the pieces, they'll lead us to the Starforge, and some way to destroy it. We must inform the Council of what we've discovered. They must decide our next course of action, though I suspect our task has only just begun.
And so the true Dark Souls experience begins. Alright. There's the galaxy. Bunch of dots. I totally thought they might hide an item just back there, as they often are wont to do. Just level makers in general. Seriously though, you can just walk through the middle of... What are these magic death fields? Is this a death field that kills somehow? And we somehow know that, but don't remark on it? This place doesn't have walls, but it somehow stops you from going forward. That guy died. Poor Nemo died because he couldn't go forward because of these nonsense walls. Is this a funhouse mirror? Are these mirrors, but we're all vampires and it doesn't show our bodies in the mirrors? Because that also looks like it's going on forever, you know, or like more than you would think. Because like the surface should be over there, because this is the front door. It's like space-wise, it feels like that room also shouldn't exist the way it does. So maybe this is just a nonsense room. The infinitely repeating pattern actually is weirdly reminiscent of the pit with Rey from The Last Jedi. With that weird recursive, like, repeating thing that was going on there. Maybe that's the explanation somehow. That's not an explanation. That was just a random comparison, which is not itself an explanation of why the thing's like that. Woo! Wow, that did some damage. Still really weird that he makes dog sounds. Well, that was the main objective, but now we're meant to deal with this Matali family matter. Those two resorts that wouldn't let us in. I'm sure they're pleasant people. They're probably not pleasant people.